Aloha kako, how you folks doing? My name is Armando. In this video, I will be talking about Honolulu Fire Department's unique and proud history. Our fire department. And they do have a unique and proud history. So let's get started with the history. Okay? Now, in the early 1800s, and with the influx of missionaries, that was around 1820, whalers, and businessmen to Hawaii, Honolulu grew rapidly with Western-style wooden buildings, which were highly combustible. Now, interior lighting in that period consisted of all flame-emitting equipment, candles, lamps, and lanterns. Therefore, fires became common in homes and businesses alike. Now, on October 24th, 1850, a public assembly raised the concern of the people to have adequate fire protection. Okay, and an outcome of this meeting was the formation of Honolulu's first volunteer fire brigade on November 6, 1850. Wow. The HFD holds the distinction of being the first fire department in all of the Hawaiian Islands. Okay. I'm showing you some pictures of the old fire engines and fire department back in those days. Now, there's also something that was donated to the museum. It's called a Prairie Queen. It's a mid-19th century fire apparatus. It was not actually used by Honolulu Fire Department, but it was donated to the department in 1969. But Honolulu firefighters used similar equipment in the 1800s. Okay? Now let's talk about the establishment of the HFD, or Honolulu Fire Department. Okay. Now, on December 27th, 1850, an ordinance issued by Kamehameha III established the Honolulu Fire Department. On February 3rd, 1851, Oahu Governor Kekuanaoa appointed Alexander Joy Cartwright Jr. to be Chief Engineer of the Fire Department of the City of Honolulu, making him the first fire engineer of the newly formed department. Now, you may know that name. It's very, very famous, Cartwright, and it's related to the baseball, founding of the baseball. Okay. And there's a lot of debate on that, but that's where he's very well known. Now, I'm showing some pictures of Alexander Joy Cartwright Jr. Okay, now showing more pictures of the back in those days, 1850s. Now, Honolulu, which was the capital of the territory of Hawaii, is believed to be the only fire department in the world that has had kings serve as active members, with King Kamehameha III, who reigned during the 1850s, and King David Kalakaua during the 1880s alongside volunteers. So they actually worked with these guys. Okay? It's amazing, yeah? Showing more pictures. Now, let's talk about the Hawaiian Engine Company number 4. Okay. Now, King Kalakaua was a member of Engine Company number 4, which was originally an all-Hawaiian company established in 1861. Now, Prince Albert, Kamehameha, a toddler at the time, admired Company 4 and was made an honorary member. After his death at the age of 5, the entire HFD joined his funeral procession. Now, when King Kalakaua died in 1891, firefighters draped black fabric on their stations to show the respect for the king. So they had a lot of respect for King Kalakaua. And let's talk about two major fires that occurred in Honolulu. First is the Chinatown Fire of 1886. I'm showing a picture of that right now. On April 18, 1886, a fire started in the building at Hotel and Smith Streets and destroyed over 60 acres of buildings and involved a loss surpassing $1,453,000. Back then, that was a lot of money back in those days. Buildings had been constructed close together, allowing the fire department to quickly, or allowing the fire, I should say, to quickly spread in all directions. In response, on April 20th, 1886, the Board of Fire Underwriters was formed. On May 29, 1886, King Kalakaua signed Honolulu's first building laws, or building codes. Okay? Now, let's talk about the second fire of Chinatown. That was the Chinatown Fire of 1900. So there were two fires actually. Now, in an effort to control the bubonic plague, blocks of buildings were burnt, one at a time. On April 20th, 1900, the block next to Kaumakapili Church was set on fire, and I know exactly where that is. As the flame grew, the wind unexpectedly changed and the fire spread to the steeple of the church and then began to spread quickly across the city. Firefighters worked hard to control the fire that swept Chinatown, burning 38 acres. The property losses totaled over $3 million, and that was a lot back in those days. Like I said, I think the guys from the owner of the City Mill, I think he lost a lot in that fire too, if I'm not mistaken. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Fire Museum, and they do have a fire museum. Now, the Honolulu Fire Museum and Education Center is located in the former historic Kaka'ako Fire Station, which was built in 1928 and neighbors the HFD headquarters building, which was completed in 2006. Showing some pictures now. The engine company occupied Kaka'ako Station on October 1st, 1929, and the ladder truck company moved on March 1st, 1930. The shop opened in 1931. Kaka'ako Fire Station was one of several HFD stations that were nominated to the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. Okay? Now, the museum shares the history of HFD as well as the history of the firefighting apparatus and gear. Now, when the Japanese, remember the attack on Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese started bombing Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, HFD quickly responded to the crisis, and the first of three responding HFD companies arrived to find Hickams Field's fire station hit by bombs. Now, Honolulu firefighters worked tirelessly to extinguish flames and save as many U.S. planes as possible, but the second wave of Japanese Zero aircraft approached. Hostman Harry Tuck Lee Pang was shot and killed. Captains Thomas Macy and John Carrera died in a bomb blast. 6 other firefighters were injured. So, wow, can you imagine? So they all, died in that attack. Okay, so now showing more pictures. HFD lists among its members 9 men who were awarded the Order of the Purple Heart, including 3 dead members who were awarded the medal in 1984. This made the HFD the only fire department on American soil whose members were attacked by a foreign nation and were awarded Purple Hearts relating to their duties. This honor is not only awarded to members of the armed forces wounded in battle. So that's what I'm talking about, unique, because they're the only ones of all firefighters in the nation, they're the only ones that were awarded the Purple Heart. Okay, I'm going to show you more pictures now. And showing a picture of Kaimiki Fire Station. I used to live in that area. That's on 12th Avenue. That's an old fire station. It's been there a long, long time. Okay, and then a more modern fire truck. So they have quite a history in Hawaii. You know, from the connections to royalty and being awarded a Purple Heart. You know, this fire department of Hawaii is very unique and very proud of their history. So that's the story of our Honolulu Fire Department. Okay, they do a fine job and I'm very proud of them. And I think we should tell the story of these brave men and their history. I hope you enjoyed this video. Mahalo for watching. And ahoy ho.